Before we begin, drop a comment and tell me, what would you do if your own father shoved you in front of 200 guests? Be honest. We read every comment. Now, let's begin. The champagne flutes clinked like tiny bells. Fake laughter rolled across the manicured lawn. The string quartet kept playing some elegant tune that didn't match the poison in the air. And there I was standing under fairy lights, drowning in silk and pretense, an outsider at my own brother's engagement party. Why is she even here? Someone whispered behind a wine glass. She's just the daughter who ran away and came crawling back. Cute, right? I ignored them. I'd gotten used to the whispers, those polite smiles that carried daggers underneath. I told myself I'd show up, stay quiet, and leave before dessert. But then, the air shifted. A hush. Heavy. Familiar. My father's footsteps. Click. 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 He stopped right in front of me. You really showed your face here, huh? His tone sliced clean through the music. Nice to see you too, Dad, I said, forcing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. You've got some nerve, he hissed. This is James's night. You showing up like this? You're a disgrace. The crowd turned. Drama was better than champagne. I was invited, I said. By James. He leaned in close, breath hot with whiskey. You weren't invited by me, and this isn't your place anymore. And maybe I should have walked away. But I didn't. I looked him dead in the eye. You made it clear a long time ago I wasn't part of this family. I didn't come to stir anything. I just wanted to wish James well. He laughed sharp, ugly. Wish him well? After you abandoned us for that nobody you married? You embarrassed us. You're not my daughter anymore. And then he shoved me. My heels slipped on the marble border. The world tilted, lights spun, and splash. I hit the fountain. Gasps. Laughter. She's lucky we even let her in, my stepmother barked, her pearls bouncing as she sipped wine. Serves her right, someone muttered. But I didn't cry. Not this time. I sat up in that cold, glittering water, mascara running, dress ruined, and smiled. A slow, eerie smile. Remember this moment? I whispered. Because I already knew what was about to happen next. Oncoming automobile, the front gates creaked open. A black Bentley rolled up the stone path, flanked by two matte black SUVs. Security stepped out first. Heads turned. Phones lowered. Then the driver opened the door, and he stepped out. My husband. Eli Whitaker. Not the nobody they thought he was when I left 5 years ago. Not the nervous startup guy they once mocked. He was the Eli Whitaker now, the man whose name showed up on Forbes lists, the quiet storm behind billion-dollar tech mergers. He walked toward me like the universe owed him space. Navy suit sharp enough to cut, sunglasses glinting. The crowd froze. Even my father. Even my smug stepmother. Eli reached me and offered his hand. You okay? I took it. Water still dripping from my dress. He slipped off his blazer and wrapped it around me. Then he looked up at everyone, that calm, lethal smile playing on his lips. Thanks for keeping my wife entertained, he said. She won't be needing any of you anymore. He turned to me. Ready, Mrs. Whitaker? More than ever. And we walked straight through their silence, leaving wet footprints on their perfect lawn. The car door closed behind us with a sound like finality. Inside the Bentley, everything smelled like leather and control. My heart still thumped against the silk lining of Eli's blazer. He reached into the console, pulled out a towel, and handed it to me. You okay? I'm fine, I lied. They just find new ways to remind me I don't belong. He didn't answer right away. Eli never filled silence with nonsense. That's what I loved about him. Then, softly, he said, they'll learn soon enough. I turned my head toward him, taking in the man beside me, not the shy dreamer my father once mocked, but the CEO of W3 Syndicate, the guy who quietly reshaped financial tech without ever needing their approval. You told me to remember that moment, he said. But I think they're the ones who should remember it now. I gave a half laugh. You think they even realize who you are? He smirked. Oh, they do now. And he wasn't lying. Because 5 minutes later, my father was calling. Again. And again. Harper, please call me. We didn't know. It got out of hand. I didn't answer. My phone lit up like a firework, texts, missed calls, even emails. Funny how fast guilt travels when power shifts. But I didn't reply. Not yet. Because for the first time in years, I had leverage. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the penthouse windows like it was mocking me for sleeping in. Eli stood by the floor-to-ceiling glass, coffee in hand, phone in the other. Calm. Composed. Always 5 moves ahead. Don't check your messages yet, he said. You'll enjoy this more after breakfast. That's his version of foreplay chaos, wrapped in control. I ignored him and reached for my phone anyway. Notifications exploded across the screen, voicemails from my father, a shaky apology text from my brother, even a forwarded statement from the Crosswell Holdings board about unexpected leadership inquiries. Eli, I said slowly, what did you do? He turned, that half-smile playing at the corner of his mouth. Correction. What did we do? He set his coffee down. Come with me. The Bentley pulled up outside a 60-story high-rise downtown. Sleek. Mirrored. Unapologetically expensive. Across the marble lobby wall, in gold letters, W3HQ. I frowned. Why are we here? I look like a drowned cat. He laughed. You're perfect. And you're about to sign your name on something they thought you'd never touch again. We took the express elevator to the 48th floor. The doors opened into a glass boardroom overlooking the city. Everyone stood when we entered, not for Eli. For me. Gentlemen, Eli said evenly. This is Harper Whitaker. You may know her as my wife, but starting today, she owns 51% of Crosswell Holdings. Silence. Then stunned faces. Crosswell. I whispered. My father's company? Eli nodded. Was. I sank into the chair, heartbeat loud in my ears. 2 years ago, when Eli started quietly acquiring distressed companies, one of them was a Crosswell shell vendor. I helped with the numbers. What we found, hidden debt, falsified ledgers, desperation disguised as pride, was the kind of thing that kills legacies. Eli didn't destroy it. He saved it. Legally. Strategically. Then bought piece by piece. 32% here. 10 from a forgotten French stakeholder. The rest yesterday morning. All in my name. Congratulations, the CFO said, finally breaking the silence. You're the majority shareholder now. My hand didn't shake as I signed the papers, elegant black ink on cream linen stock. And, just like that, I owned the empire my father swore I wasn't capable of running. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the fountain. The smirks. My father's face. Eli stirred beside me. You're still smiling inside, aren't you? I turned to him. Not because they're hurting. Because I didn't have to destroy them to win. He grinned. Then what now, Chairwoman Whitaker? I sent an invitation. 3 days later, a crisp email hit every Crosswell board inbox, including my father's. Subject: Internal Review Roundtable. Attendance mandatory. Location: Whitstone Estate, East Pavilion. Host: Harper Whitaker, majority shareholder. Time: 10 a.m. The same estate where I'd been shoved into the fountain. Poetic symmetry. By morning, panic buzzed through every voicemail, every email. James was confused, the board unsettled, my father furious. Good. At 9:55 a.m., I stood in that marble-pillared pavilion. Hair up, powder blue blazer, calm eyes. They arrived exactly on time. My father in front, James behind, 2 directors flanking them. He looked around, jaw tight. Well, this is quite a show, isn't it? This is a board meeting, Dad. Not a show. James paled. My father stayed standing. So you're the one who bought it all up, he sneered. Behind our backs. Secretly. Manipulatively. It was legal, I said. Strategic. Exactly how you taught me, before the desperation. That hit. I saved Crosswell, I continued. You just never noticed. Too busy building James up to see your company drowning. You think this is revenge? He snapped. No, I said slowly. It's correction. He stared, breathing hard. You've changed. I met his gaze. No. I just stopped asking for permission. The meeting dragged for hours. My team dialed in from New York, lawyers, analysts, brand consultants. I ran every slide, every figure. My father sat stone-faced, trapped in silence. When it ended, I stood. I'm not here to fire anyone. I'm not here to humiliate you. I'm here to run this company better than you ever let me. I turned to him. And starting now, you'll refer to me as Chairwoman Whitaker. The room went still. He opened his mouth, then shut it. Because what could he say? He'd raised me to be small. And now he had to sit in a room I owned. Later that night, the estate felt haunted but lighter, like the ghosts finally gave up. I stood on the balcony with Eli, sipping black tea. You still smiling inside? He asked. Yes, I said. Because I didn't need revenge. I just had to become someone they couldn't ignore. A week later, I returned to the estate alone. Not for business, for closure. His old study hadn't changed. Same mahogany shelves, same leather chair, same photo of James shaking hands with the mayor. Not one picture of me. I searched drawers, folders, dusty ledgers, and found it. A yellowed envelope, addressed in delicate handwriting. To Harper Whitaker from Mom. If they ever try to erase you, read this. My hands trembled. I opened it. Harper, if you're reading this, it means your father cut you out. I left everything to you, the trust, the lake house, the stocks. I saw how hard you worked. I believed in you. They'll lie, but the truth belongs to you. Love, Mom. The lake house. Sold 5 years ago. The trust emptied, to keep the family afloat. Fraud disguised as survival. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply folded the letter, slid it into my bag, and drove straight to our attorney. Harper, he said, scanning the letter, eyes wide. This changes everything. Good, I replied. Make it public. The inheritance review was held downtown, in a room too quiet to breathe. My father sat rigid beside my stepmother. James fidgeted, scrolling his phone like it could teleport him away. The family lawyer adjusted his glasses. Before proceeding, new documentation has been submitted. Mrs. Eleanor Whitaker's original handwriting and signature, verified authentic. My stepmother scoffed. Absurd. He ignored her and began to read my mother's letter aloud. Every line. Every word that proved they'd stolen what wasn't theirs. When he finished, the silence was deafening. He continued, all assets, the trust, estate funds, and lake property were meant for Harper Whitaker. Their misappropriation constitutes fraud. An investigation is underway. My stepmother slammed her hand on the table. We were told the trust was invalid. You told yourselves, I said quietly. And then lived off what she left me. My father didn't look up. Couldn't. You tried to erase me, I said softly, but Mom didn't forget. The lawyer turned. Harper, would you like to make a final statement? I stood. Calm. Collected. No revenge, I said. Just truth. I didn't come to ruin you. I came to show you who I became, not in spite of you, but because of you. My father blinked guilt, shame, maybe realization. I walked toward the door. You said I wasn't your daughter anymore, I paused, turning slightly. Turns out, you were right. And I left. Not just the room, the version of me that ever begged for love that was never real. That night, the city glowed like quiet revenge. Eli and I stood on the penthouse balcony, champagne untouched. Proud of yourself? He asked, teasing. No, I whispered. Not proud. Free. He wrapped his arms around me. So what's next for Mrs. Whitaker? I smiled at the skyline. Building something they can't touch. Below us, headlines flickered on digital billboards. Whitaker heiress wins legal claim. Crosswell Holdings under new leadership. My phone buzzed, messages from women I hadn't spoken to in years. You inspired me. Thank you for standing up. Maybe that was the real win. A month later, the same fountain that once held my humiliation glittered under string lights again, but this time for me. Company gala. Same estate. Different hierarchy. I wore a sleek beige gown, hair pinned high, power quiet but undeniable. Eli stood beside me, drink in hand, smirk barely there. As the orchestra played, I walked past that marble rim, the one that once caught my fall. I ran my fingers across the edge, felt the cold stone, and smiled. Poetic, Eli murmured. Full circle, I said. Guests clinked glasses in the distance, whispers now replaced with respect. When the speeches began, the host raised a toast, To the woman who redefined what legacy means, Chairwoman Harper Whitaker. The applause was thunder, not laughter. I looked into the fountain's reflection. The woman's staring back wasn't broken. She was the storm they built and then feared.